Hey guys, welcome back. First off, this is a sponsored review. The nice folks at 4WDKING were kind enough to send me two 20-inch LED light bars to test out and review. And at the end of this video there's going to be a chapter called Giveaway Rules where I'm going to be giving away one of these light bars. So I recommend you skip to that chapter to learn how to win one, and you don't need to watch any of this garbage. So first I'd like to go over the claimed specifications for this light bar. Then I'd like to share with you what I've learned testing it out and using it for about 2 weeks, and then finish it up with some pros and cons. So this is it right here. It's being sold on Amazon for $80, and it includes a very handy dandy plug and play wiring harness that really makes installation a breeze. And I'll be going over that later. And I do want to mention, for some reason they're also selling the same light bar for $10 cheaper with a 35% off coupon, so it brings the cost down to $45. And if you've already got a wiring harness, or you like doing your own custom wiring harness, that might be a good option. And during this review I'm also going to be referring to my previous light bar as a reference, and my previous light bar is a Nightlight 26-inch that's rated at 50,000 lumen, and more on that later. So when they first sent me the email to test this thing out, I read the specifications and I was very underwhelmed based on my previous light bar. But after getting it home and testing the current draw and then putting it side by side with my previous light bar, it became apparent that the Nightlight specifications were grossly misrepresented, and that this light bar is true to specification. So what I mean by that is this light bar is rated at 14,000 lumen, and it's just as bright as this Nightlight 26-inch that's rated at 50,000 lumen. And that really surprised me. I could not believe that, because this Nightlight is a triple row and it has over 100 different LEDs in this bar. And if you'll notice, this 4WDKING, it's only 20 inches, so it's 6 inches shorter, and it's a single row, and there's only 20 LEDs in this entire bar, and it's just as bright. So I was really blown away with that fact. So I'm going to say the 14,000 lumen rating is true to spec, and I really think that's due to them using top quality Osram LED chips. And if you're not familiar with Osram, that's a similar company to Philips and Sylvania, and those guys are making the best LED chips in my opinion, based on what I've seen, what I've used, and what I've bought, and what I've tested. So the next specification is they claim that it's 100 watts, and I found that true to specification. And I say that because I tested the current draw with my fluke meter, and what I got was 7.5 amps at 12.6 volts. So that comes out to 94.5 watts. So 12.6, that's with the engine off. When the engine is running, it's going to increase that just a little bit. So I find that rating of 100 watts to be true to spec. Now this next specification was really surprising. The rated color temperature is 6,500 degrees Kelvin, and I found that to be false. And I find the color temperature to be actually 5,500 degrees Kelvin, which is pure white. And to explain what that means, this right here is a color temperature chart, and it goes from red to violet, and right here is what I consider to be pure white light, and this is at 5,500 degrees Kelvin. And 6,500 degrees Kelvin is it starts to get into this bluish, slight bluish tint color, and this became apparent when I put it side by side with my Nightlight, because my Nightlight LED bar. This one right here is rated at 6500, and it actually is 6500. So once I put these two bars next to each other, I could see that this one was actually putting out pure white light. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that, because I really do not like the bluish tint. And so I did this little poll with you guys, and I really appreciate you guys, your input here. And I took a poll with this question, and the question is, under normal driving conditions, I prefer headlight color temperature. And after 24 hours, we got 102 votes, and 11 people said they prefer 3000 degrees Kelvin yellowish. 62 people said they prefer 5500 degrees pure white. 13 people said they prefer 6500 degrees cool white slight bluish tint. 12 people said don't drive at night, eat supper 4:30 p.m., then recliner and matlock. And 4 people said option 4 is only for Mr. Curmudgeon 947, aka Mr. Black 947. So if you're looking for a light bar that puts out pure white light, this is going to be one of them. Okay, now the next thing I want to talk about is the beam pattern. And whoever came up with the reflectors on this, I gotta give them high praise for getting it right. The beam pattern on this is, the specification is a spot and flood combo, and I found that to be true to spec. Now what I mean by that is that a flood pattern is usually something that's going to light up a large area of in front of you, like a wall of light. And then a spotlight, of course, is like a flashlight with a narrow beam. And after looking at this bar side by side with my nightlight, it really came apparent that whoever designed this really knew what they were doing, and nailed it right on the head, because my nightlight my nightlight LED light bar has the same flood and spot combo beam claim, but after looking at this next to this, this has absolutely no spot pattern whatsoever. This basically just puts out a flood of light, like a stadium, a baseball stadium light, or a flood security light, where it just produces a wall of light. And I kind of had a feeling it was going to be like that, but I didn't realize how poor it was at producing a spotlight pattern until I saw this. And if you look at that, my test footage at the beginning of this video, it really puts the light directly in front of you, where you would want to see it in a real world driving situation when you're driving down the road. Now I want to talk about that real quick, how they achieve that. And you can see there's 20 LED chips in this bar, and every single one of the chips is identical. They're all the same, but how they do it is they change the arrangement of the reflector housings. And you can see these two reflector housings are a flood pattern, and then it's got 6 in a row of a spot pattern, and then it's got 4 in line with a flood pattern, and then another 6 with the spot pattern, and then the last 2 are a flood pattern. And I can't tell you how well this thing works. It really puts the light right in front of you. And I don't know how else to explain that, but on my car, I have this light bar hooked up to my high beam circuit, so that when I activate my high beams, the light bar comes on. And when I'm driving my car, it actually feels like I have really high quality, high performing headlamps. It doesn't even feel like I have a light bar behind the grill. So I can't say enough and give it enough praise for how well this thing produces a proper light pattern, where it provides the light just where you want it, right down the road. Okay, so the next thing I should mention with the specifications is that it comes with a 14 gauge wire harness that comes with its fuse, a relay, and a plug-and-play connector, and this is a $20 value if they sell it separately. So this is it right here hanging up. This right here is the fuse holder, and these two connections right here go to your battery. Of course, red to positive, black to negative. And then this right here is the relay. And then this right here is the DT connector. And I can't tell you how easy this thing makes, because as you can see, there's already a DT connector on the light bar itself. So all you got to do is plug that in till it clicks, and then you're done. And then the last part of this wiring harness is it includes an illuminated switch to activate it. So if you use this plug-and-play wiring harness that's included, it really couldn't get simpler than that. Two connections on your battery, plug this in, and then run the switch to somewhere in the car where you can activate it. Now, just a quick word on installation. On my car, I really don't want to fumble with a separate switch. What I do is I prefer to wire it up to my factory multi-function switch or my turn signal stock, and that's this thing right here. So it just makes it a lot easier for me to use. So you pull it forward to activate your flash to pass, or you push it towards the front of the car to activate the high beams constantly. And then in order to do that, you don't run this switch here. What you've got to do is you've got to get into your high beam circuit on your car, and you might see something similar to this. This is the connector that goes to your headlamp, and there's going to be three wires coming out of here. One is the ground wire, one is the hot wire for the low beam circuit, and one is the hot wire for the high beam circuit. So what you're looking for is the wire on the high beam circuit, and once you find that wire, all you got to do is you connect the corresponding wire that's going to trigger the relay. And on this one, I believe it's the blue wire, but don't quote me on that because I haven't tested it. So that's how I would connect this, and that's how I did connect it. And it really performs the best for my application. Okay, so the next test I did with this light bar, I did a 15-minute heat test, and I tested it at an ambient temperature of 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And after 15 minutes, it reached 110 degrees Fahrenheit. And I measured that with my infrared pyrometer here. So based on my previous light bar and other lights that I have, I really think that's an acceptable rating, because during a 100-degree day, 30 degrees hotter ambient, that means the light bar will be running at 140 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is a good, that is an acceptable temperature, that, in my opinion. Okay, now let's get into the pros and cons. So my first pro with this is I'm going to say it has excellent quality for the materials, and it has excellent quality control. And the reason why I say that is because after comparing it side by side with my nightlight and touching it and the weight of it and looking at all of the fasteners, it just feels like a very superior, heavy-dutier construction. And the reason why I say it has good quality control is because I tested both light bars for current draw, and they were exactly the same, dead-on nuts. So for them to produce two light bars with the exact same current draw, they're obviously using good quality components, and they're having good quality control to pull out any duds out of their production process. Okay, the next pro is I'm going to say that the specifications for the lumen rating and the wattage rating are true to correct. It really is refreshing to see a product that is not overinflating its lumen rating by a lot. And it's really difficult on the consumer shopping for one of these light bars, because how do you know who's telling the truth and who's lying? Well, you really don't until you get them home and you can test them out. Okay, the next pro on this, I gotta say it has an excellent color temperature of that 5500 degrees Kelvin pure white light. And my next pro is the excellent beam pattern. And again, if you want to see the beam pattern, just go to the beginning of this video and you can see that when I turn on my high beams, it really puts the light right down the road where you would want to see an oncoming vehicle or obstruction. The next pro is, I'm going to say it's only a single row, which makes it very compact. My other light bar is a triple row, and it takes up, you know, almost double the area behind the grill. So if you needed to put this in a location where you don't have much room, this is going to be a lot easier to fit in there. And the last pro is this DT connector. I've never seen a connector like this before. I've seen other connectors, but just not like this. And I can't tell you how high quality this looks compared to the other ones I have. And I'm sure there's going to be people that are going to cut this off and then do their custom wiring, and I really wouldn't recommend that. I saw that they do sell just the male or the female connector for $8, and then you can take advantage of this very good high quality waterproof connection, and then wire that connector into your wiring harness. Okay, as far as cons, I have none, and this is a Panzer platform first. I've never tested a product where I had no cons. Usually I say, if I don't have anything bad to say about a product, I usually complain it costs too much. But in this case, I'm going to say that based on what you get, I'm going to say this is an excellent value for money product, especially if you can get one of these for the $45 with no wiring harness if you've already got your own wiring harness. Okay, now let's get into the giveaway rules. So the giveaway rules, you must leave a comment on this video, and you can leave a comment of whatever you want. Number 2, you must own a Panther car, Crown Vic, Grand Marquis, Marauder, Town Car. Number 3, you must email me 3 widescreen photos, no vertical photos, of your car and United States shipping address within 12 hours of the winner drawing video. And last but not least, you must pay the USPS 2-day priority shipping cost of $22.90. And that's because I've got to use this large box to fit it in there. And I apologize for asking for that money, but again, my YouTube channel is not monetized, and I earn $0 making these terrible, terrible videos. And 24 hours after this video is uploaded, we'll have the giveaway drawing results, where I'll pick a comment with a random comment picker. Alright, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.